Hey, welcome to War Heroes, January 1942. First, we're going to roll for our technologies in this turn. Our technologies today are going to be the following. You're rolling for heavy bombers, strategic rockets, improved factories, and improved construction. So we need a 9 or better for heavy bombers, 9 or better for rockets, and 7 or better for the other two. So we are going to go ahead and roll that now. Okay, heavy bombers, we need 9 or better. We got an 11. So we move up on heavy bombers to stage 2. Next, strategic rockets, we also need a 9 or better. Got a 3, didn't get it. So next one we have is improved factories. We need a 12 or better. We need a 7 or better. We did get a 7. 12 or better. That's ridiculous. Okay, so that is improved factories. We move up to stage 3. And the last one we need, 7 or better, is improved construction. We need a 7 or better. We got a 4, so we didn't get that. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and move into combat phase. We only have 7 attacks. Oh, well, actually, sorry. Our purchases. So our purchases are going to be the following. We are buying 10 militia, 2 advanced artillery, 2 tank destroyers, 3 cavalry, and 1 infantry. Now, for our attacks, we're going to do the following. Russia is going to invade Western Manchuria from Eastern Manchuria with motorized infantry, and he's going to take his AAA with him. And then the light tank is going to come from Karelin, and it's going to go into Western Manchuria also. We are going to go from Chita and take our tactical bomber and our fighter and our militia, and we're going to invade Amur to see if we can get that territory back. Over here against the Germans, let's see here, we are going to take our 3 tank destroyers up through Yaroslava, ever say that, into northern Russia, and we're taking our militia from Yaroslavl level to northern Russia also. 4 against 4, so hopefully we can do something with that. And then from those all came from Moscow, and then also from Moscow we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 militia and an infantry into western Russia. And then we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 militia from Moscow and an infantry to Oral-Kursk. And we're also going to bring in a militia and an infantry into Oral-Kursk. We are going to try to go from Donetsk. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Should have set that down. Do it using my cord right now, so it's kind of difficult to do. But right here, Donetsk, Khabarovsk, we're going to go down here. What territory is this? We're going to try to take Taurida. Now that's going to be a very hard battle, but we can hope for the best, so we'll give it a go. So those are the territories we're going to attack. Put this right here. And, the CCP is going to go from Singhai, and we're just taking 1 mountain infantry, and we're going to attack that militia. So, I'm going to go ahead. I guess I'll just go ahead and start attacking Japan first. So we have our motorized infantry, and our, we can't take our militia, but our AA gun and our light tank. And he has, let's see, we have desert we're going into. So I gotta look that guy up real quick. That's terrain, I can, so terrain for desert border. All attack and land units, -1 vehicle class units, roll a 12 are forced to retreat. So we're hoping to not roll a 12 here. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put these on the board so I remember what's what. So the infantry will be defending like normal at 4 or less, yeah. And then the motorized infantry will be attacking at 1, and the light tank will be attacking at 3. Okay, so here we go. Going to go ahead and get our die, and we're going to go ahead and roll for the light tank first at 3 or less. Got a 9, missed. Now we roll for our militia at 1. Okay, and their infantry will defend at 4 or less. Oh, shoot. Well, we lost that guy, so, let's see. You know, we are going to, we're going to go ahead and go. We are going to try and attack one more time and cross our fingers. Now, does that say the, on the first round? Okay, the first round. So the light armor gets to move up to 4 at attack, so it's even for both. So here we go. 4 or less for the light tank. 7 and 4 or less for the infantry. 10. 4 or less for the light tank. 4 or less for the infantry. 4 or less for the light tank. 4 or less for the infantry. Oh boy, here we go again. 4 or less for the light tank. Missed, dang barely. The infantry at 4 or less. Missed. Light tank at 4 or less. 7. Oh boy. Infantry. Oh, I just can't win over there with those guys. So, we failed, and the AAA is going to move back to Eastern Manchuria. And okay, now we're going to go from Cheetah with our tactical bomber and our fighter and our militia. And these are mountains across the board. So let's see. Well, I'm not really sure when you're doing mountains how all attacking land units except cavalry have the movement reduced, but I'm not really sure how a militia is supposed to attack in mountains. I'm guessing it can't, so I'm just going to, well, shoot. If they can attack in the mountains, it actually should say that in the rules, but, well, can't do anything about that. So we're withdrawing from Amur after all, because we're not attacking 1 infantry with our fighter and tactical bomber, because that'd be just stupid. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go over here, and we're going to attack with 4 militia into Tarita. And then, and guys, if you watch this video, and I could have attacked with that militia, I'd like to do one. I'd like to attack until the militia dies, but nothing else. And then I'd probably like some non-combat moves going that direction, because there's no point in fighting in the mountains with the militia. Let's see. So the defense, we're going to get a first strike artillery, and they're going to get 4 infantry defending at 4. So this could be quite horrible unless I actually get super lucky for once in this game. But what the heck, we're getting steamrolled right now, so sometimes you gotta, well, we're literally rolling the dice. So, we have 4 militia that are going to attack. Whoops, sorry. We're going to have 1 artillery that will go ahead and do its first strike at 3 or less. Get that 3 die out of there. Okay, 3 or less. Okay, the artillery at 3 or less did not get us. Thank goodness for that. Now, militia, 4 at 1. No hits. Okay. 4 infantry at 4 or less. Okay. They got 2 hits, and we are done attacking them. We're not pushing that any further. We'll just put our 2 militia back where they came from, and the Germans will have suffered no losses. But we are not going to deplete ourselves completely there, because it just doesn't work out well for us. So we lost all our guys, though. We lost 2 guys, sorry. It felt like we lost all our guys. Okay. So now we will go over to... we will go ahead into Oral-Kursk, and they have 1 infantry defending it. 4 or less, and they have, and then we have our militia and infantry going into Oral-Kursk from Moscow. So our attacking infantry is at 2 or less, our militia at 1, we have a 2nd infantry at 2, and let's see, we have a total of, from Moscow, 6 infantry going in versus that 1 infantry. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and roll for our 2 infantry first at 2 or less. Okay, that battle is over, so they get a defense roll at 4 or less. They got 1 of our militia knocked out of the battle, so that battle is over. We have taken Oral-Kursk back from the Germans. Not everybody everywhere. Okay, so we took them back from the Germans. So Russia will go up to 2, which goes up to 32, and Germany will go down to 68. All right, our next battle, we will be going from Moscow to Western Russia, and we've got, I'll have to count the militia here, we've got 1 infantry and a certain number of militia. So they have 1 infantry at 2 or less, and then the number of militia we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 infantry, and they have an artillery, which will get first strike, and an infantry. So infantry defends at 4 or less, and the artillery defends at 3 or less. So we're going to go ahead and do their artillery first strike at 3 or less. It knocks out 1 of our militia. He is done. Then we're going to do our infantry at 2 or less. Misses. And then we have 5 militia left. At 1. No hits. And then they have their infantry at 4 or less. And it got a hit. So we lost another militia. Okay. Not as worried about, well, okay. Now we're going to have our infantry roll at 2 or less. Missed. 4 militia at 1. Oh, come on, guys. Okay. Their infantry at 4 or less. They got a hit. Okay, and now their artillery at 3 or less. Missed. Okay, our infantry at 2 or less. Okay, he got a hit. We're going to lose our artillery since it rolls in defense at a lower rating. And now we're going to roll our 3 infantry at 1. 3 militia at 1. No hits. And now they defend their infantry at 4 or less. Miss. Their artillery at 3 or less. Miss. Okay, so this is a tough battle, but got some goals and hopefully we can get them. Okay, our infantry at 2 or less. Missed. 3 militia at 1. No hits. Their infantry defends at 4 or less. Hit. We lost another militia. This is getting rough, guys. Okay. Our infantry at 2 or less. Missed. 2 militia at 1. Missed. Their infantry at 4 or less. Hit. Oh, it's not looking good. Our infantry at 2 or less. Miss. Our militia at 1. Miss. Dang it. Their infantry at 4 or less. Miss. Thank goodness. Our infantry at 2 or less. Miss. Our militia at 1. Miss. Their infantry at 4 or less. Oh boy. Our infantry at 2 or less. We're not going to stop. Okay, here we go. Miss and their infantry at 4 or less. And we lost that battle, so that's the end of that. That stinks. Okay. All right. We've got our 3 tank destroyers. Three tank destroyers and 1 militia going into northern Russia. Against 2 infantry defending at 4 and 2 tanks, medium tanks, defending at 5. And the tank destroyers get to choose on a 1 to 3. Oh shoot, right. 1 sinking infantry, we can take them out. Okay. Thought I really had a shot at that, yeah, based on the odds. Just roll really bad at low dice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll our 3 tank destroyers at 3 or less. 3 or less. And no hits. And then our militia at 1. Okay, Germans 2 tanks at 5 or less. They got a hit, took out our militia. And then we have their 2 infantry at 4 or less. 2 hits. Okay, well, I think this is pretty much game after that. Haven't been able to get any hits, so tank destroyer doesn't get any. 2 tanks at 5 or less. Don't need to roll anything else. So, we're done with all our battles. They went awful, and so, you know, depending on how Germany does on the next turn, I'm considering surrendering because that was just pretty much got wiped out on that turn. I was hoping to be able to stop a blitz through territories. That's not happening. We got a total of $2 increase. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and lose our battle in China like we usually do. We have a mountain infantry in the mountains. So, he doesn't go lower since he's a mountain infantry. So he rolls at a 2 or less, and the regular infantry defends at a 4 or less. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay. 2 or less for the mountain infantry. Okay, of course. All right, and then the they have a militia. I'm sorry. Well, they defend at a 2 or less. Oh, shoot, 2 or less. Okay, well, mountain infantry at 2 or less. Their infantry at 2 or less. Militia. Mountain infantry at 2 or less. Their militia at 2 or less. Mountain infantry at 2 or less. Wow, and now their militia at 2 or less. Well, surprise, surprise, CCP actually can get a hit. Yeah, finally. Okay, so the CCP will go up 2. We're technically going to have 2 income again. And Japan will go down 2. They're down to 30. And let's see, our non-combat moves. Let's see. I would have won something there if I had realized that militia sucks so bad. Okay, so we're going to have our fighter and tactical bomber stay where it is. We're going to have our paratrooper go to Novosibirsk. We're going to have all these militia that are in northern Caucasia, Caucasia, come up into Danya, Kaban, and then we are going to have this militia come into Moscow. That Gorky militia come into Moscow. The Saratov infantry go into Don Manish. And we're going to move 3 militia from northern Kazakhstan to western Kazakhstan. And I'm sorry if I go off of the board, but I'm trying to make sure that this phone doesn't die because it's cold in my garage, and sometimes iPhones actually die when they get too cold. So I'm saying the places as I'm doing it, so hopefully, you get everything, because that's the main deal here. And then I'm going to move my Novosibirsk militia and infantry from Novosibirsk to Moscow, since everybody pretty much died just recently there. Okay, so that is thinking I'm going to, I don't know what the point of moving that guy is if I can't attack in the mountains, but like an idiot, I'm going to go ahead and move that guy that way, and I'm going to move the Angara to Buryatia. I don't know what the point is of militia if they can't attack and they can't shoot a gun in the mountain. Seriously? But it says you're supposed to deduct 1 when you're in the mountains, so that's it only makes logical sense. They can't shoot in the mountains, so I guess bullets don't work in the mountains, unless I'm completely wrong, which I hope I am. Okay. Alright, so it's place units. So we're going to put 2 tank destroyers and advanced artillery in Moscow. And then we're also going to put infantry in Moscow. And then we're going to put 4 militia in Moscow. Oh, I gotta do a recruitment roll and an income rolls real quick too. I forgot. I'm going to go ahead and place these units real quick and go ahead and do those 2 rolls. Everybody be thrilled when they get to see their turn. Maybe they'll put Russia out of their misery finally. Because I've rode atrociously this whole game. CCP has really stunk. It's like they were throwing rocks at the enemy. Okay, so I have 5 militia putting in Transcaucasia, 4 militia is going into Moscow, and 1 militia is going into Stalingrad. Then we're putting a mountain infantry into Shanghai, and our die roll actually goes up to 5 or less for our recruitment, which I don't think it really matters when it comes to our CCP. They haven't rolled well the whole game, but hey, let's see if they can get 5 or less this time and surprise the world. Now they got 9. How about that? Okay. So, last thing we got to do is get our wartime economy for Russia. And they got $4. So, the luck keeps on going. So we get $4. Russia has an income of 32 plus 4 is 36. Okay, and if you want to see, sorry, I forgot to put 3 cavalry down. 3 cavalry are actually going to, let's see, put too many units there? I don't think I did. Let's see. I'm putting 3 cavalry in, 2 cavalry in Transcaucasia and 1 cavalry in Novosibirsk. And so basically what I have now is our boats haven't moved from Sea Zone 83 because, who are they going to actually, who are they actually going to put fear into really at this point? So they're just going to stay where they are and just go sailing. And here's where my units currently are in this game. Eastern Manchuria has a AAA and a militia. Northern Manchuria has nothing. Karelin has a militia. Central Mongolia has a militia. Ula Satul has a militia. Tanatuva, useless territory, has a militia. Chita has 2 militia, a tactical bomber and a fighter. Buryatia has a militia. Novosibirsk has a paratrooper, a transport plane, and a cavalry. Transcaucasia has 2 advanced mechanized infantry, 2 infantry, 5 militia, and a cavalry. Donste Kaban, however you say that, has 7 militia. Stalingrad has 3 militia. Western Kazakhstan has 3 militia. Don Menik has 1 militia. Oral Kursk has 1 infantry and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 militia. Yaroslav has nobody in it anymore. Gorky has nobody in it. Zurienya has nobody in it. And Moscow has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 militia, 2 infantry, 2 AAA, 2 tank destroyers, a fortification, major factory, and we have 2 advanced artillery there. And let's see, I think that's everything. And we also have our major factories in Transcaucasia. We have a fortification in Transcaucasia on the Turkish border. And let's see, We have a major factory in Novosibirsk. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, and Novosibirsk actually has 2 major factories. I thought I rolled wrong, but no, we do have 4 major factories. So that's the end of the turn. If you want to see how Germany did in the last turn, pretty much wiping out Russia, all that really is left is Moscow, because the board is pretty much empty for Russia besides Moscow. So, and now you can go ahead and see how, let's see, Japan does on their next turn against Russia and the rest of the world. We'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy.